Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me today, a new face on the Say Hey Plays universe. We are almost done with the regular season of baseball, and we still get new guests on the show. A familiar face for many of you. Ski Prophet. Ski, first of all, I love your decorations in your house as always. How's your baseball season going? Because I didn't know that you were, you're a baseball capper now, eh?
Yeah, I've done baseball. I've had a couple years where I've finished like north of 20 plus units. This season has been kind of up and down, but lately, I want to say since that trade deadline, it's been a little bit more on the up. So try to keep that going. And good to be on the show with you. Like you said, it's overdue, but it's probably mostly my fault. So just
Oh, that
good,
is
happy to
true.
be here.
I sure do. I love having new people on the show. I love having you on the show, Ski. As always, you're a light. You're a light in shining armor. Not even a knight, a light in shining armor. There. So I appreciate you for joining. Little record update for me: 412 and 425, up 6.34.3 units, 6.43 units. So I cannot complain at all. Went 1-2 on Saturday. And then I realized, maybe I should just focus on watching the sports, the football, because I was not focused on the games. I did have money on the Braves. I did not have money on the Braves when they had one of the best games of the year. That was awesome. That Seattle Mariners game was a whole lot of fun. But football takes up the mind, and it was a whole lot of
Yeah.
fun at week one as well. So we'll talk all about this slate right now. But of course, let's get into Say Hey Plays 151. The Say Hey counter still goes, even though we technically did break our streak, and technically I do still go on vacation tomorrow to Boston, even though I'll be doing a bunch of, Pub Sports Radio stuff, taking videos and such, and going to see my beloved Red Sox beat the shit out of the Yankees tomorrow. It's going to be a whole lot of fun breaking down this card. And go ahead, Ski. Go ahead, lock down that Red Sox team total for tomorrow. I'll be there. Garrett Cole pitching. Just go ahead, lock that down. Put that in your back pocket.
Put on my
We've got
notes.
Thank you. We've got Angels Guardians coming up here first. Reed Detmers versus Connor Pinkleton. And I actually wanted to start my card here, but I wanted to talk it out first, see what the chat is saying. Crypto-ish, Cheshire Cat, Mike M, Viper, MB, not applicable, all you guys. Thank you for watching as always. But I want to talk about this game because I like the LA Angels, and it doesn't feel like I've bet on the Angels at many parts of the season. 156 weighted runs created plus against lefties in the last 2 weeks. Is more like since September has started. That's what I've started my splits at now, just September and on, to see how they're doing recently. And 156 weighted runs created plus might just be Mike Trout and his heater, but I'll keep riding that hot streak, even though those runs don't always come into wins. I'll tell you that. 1-2 against the Astros in the series. Of course, that one game they win. Ohtani, the MVP, is pitching, but I do like Reed Detmers a little bit. I like the Angels here today. I like team total over 3.5. It was at minus 120. I like team total over 4 a little bit. Angels first 5 money line I thought about. But I wanted to talk it out, like I said, and hear what you have to say, Skeet, because, of course, I always want to hear your lovely opinion on this game.
Well, I feel like Pilkington's been pitching a little bit better than Detmers lately. If I look at just the last 3 starts, just numbers wise, Detmers a little bit north of 5 ERA and Pilkington below 4. But what you said about the bats, I can't ignore that. Guardians haven't really been
Oh, cancel,
hitting.
Skeet. There's one. Put it in the jar.
Yeah, I can't help myself. But they haven't really been hitting in the last 2 weeks. Weighted runs created plus versus lefties, they're third worst. And you already talked about how well the Angels have been. So advantage there for LA. But rather than a side for me, I was just thinking if you tell me, Jose, you have confidence in Detmers, I think we can get a decent performance from Pilkington. And I don't trust the Cleveland bats at all. I do trust the Cleveland bullpen. The under is 5-1-3 when Pilkington starts. The only thing, I'm not getting the best of the number. It opened up 8.5. I'm already seeing it down to 7.5 at most spots. There's a couple straight eights, but I think it's an under game. That would be the way I play this one.
Okay, a little Noli nose influence here, and I will say I have been cashing a lot of unders recently, and I will admit that I think that's enough to get me off of my team totals and my. I don't necessarily love the prices with that team total, so I'll stay off the team total. But Angels first 5 money line I wouldn't hate as well, but I'm looking at that under now, and I'll stay off for right now, but we'll come back to it at the end, and I might join you on a little Noli Nose under action there. Shout out to
Sounds
Noli wherever he
good. I
is.
think I think that's the right way to do it. If you like the Angels, take them on the money line first five or run line, however you're doing it.
Man, shout out to Noli Nose. I'll tell you, one of the scariest things on this earth is when Noli comes in and calls you an over better. I never want that to happen to me. So unders. Let's talk about Houston. Is this the next game? I don't know. Yeah, Houston, Detroit. I wrote this in the wrong order in my notes, actually. So we've got a little Framber Valdez versus Eddie Rodriguez action. And I love both of these pictures, truthfully. I really do. Framber, my favorite lefty in the league. Eddie coming back after whatever he came back off of. Some people are saying it's some family issues. Some people are saying that. Not me. Some people are saying he might be a cheater. It's not me. I'm not saying that. Some people are saying that. Who knows? Money got to his head, maybe. I don't know. But he's coming back, and he's looked pretty good in most of the starts. He had a blow-up start against Seattle 2 starts ago, I believe now this will be. 4 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 2 home runs there. Pitched against the Angels, 7 innings, 3 earned runs there. You'll take that. I think he could stymie the Astros offense a little bit here, but I was honestly a little worried, and I didn't have the cojones to bet the first 5 under 3.5 here. I think Framber does his thing, though. That the Detroit Tigers in September, 147 weighted runs created plus against lefties. Shocking number there. Shocking number. So I wanted to bet the first 5 under 3.5 here, minus 110. But at the end of the day, I was like, wow, these teams are just surprisingly hitting good enough that it will keep me off of it. So I passed on this one, Ski. What do you have?
Yeah, I agree with you. Usually, I like to look towards the Tigers versus left-handed pitching, and if I just think about the past, I haven't really been a big Valdez fan, but lately, he's been money. His last 35 in the third innings pitch, he's only given up 2 runs. So you got to respect that. The last time he faced Detroit, he went, I think, 6 innings and only gave up 2, and game ended up 3-2. So the one thing though that scares me, maybe I should have gone first 5, like you said there, and just avoid that Detroit bullpen, because I absolutely do trust the Astros bullpen. I have the under 3-0 for Rodriguez's last 3 home games for Val, and also the Astros just to the under in general. I think I have them, what is it, 62.7%, 42, 25, and 4. So I like that. Just a couple other stats. I like the unders hit every single game between Detroit and Houston so far this season. Houston, with a total of 7.5 on the road, is 9-5 to the under. So it's not low enough, you know what I'm saying? Not too low. And for Detroit, 10-7 when the total is 7.5 at the house. Valdez, 10-5 to the under on the road with a total of 7.5. So I just was checking all my boxes. I think I can continue to trust him. He's been pitching well, and just hope the Detroit bullpen doesn't screw me. So I took the full game under 7.5.
I like that look. I mean, that's my concern as well. If I were to take the full game under, it's just thinking about that Detroit bullpen. Gives me the willies. But I mean, truthfully, I honestly would not hate, like the chat saying, like a Detroit first 5 plus a half here. Hope you can get out with like a 1-1, 0-0 type game, something like that. Detroit apparently hitting lefties really well, but do I trust them to hit Framber? Not really, because I think Framber's a dog. I think Framber is a beast. Mr. Vape, by the way, also, he's saying a little Detroit over 2.5 today.
I don't remember the last time he gave up more than 2.
I mean, I'll say this. Framber doesn't have to pitch the whole game. I'm not a big fan of the Astros bullpen. Many people know that, but 2.5 is low enough where I'd be interested, especially with how hot they've been against lefties. So I think that's a fascinating look there. Shout out to Mr. Vape.
One more thing I'll mention is I think it was a little bit of a win, like around 13 miles per hour. I was capping this game this morning. Obviously, things could change, but it was a win like blowing in from right field at about 13 miles per hour. So that also helped under.
Yep. Yeah, I saw the wind factor as well. Shout out to Swish, who does a good job on the wind. I love their little, whatever it is, odometer, whatever it's called. Sorry, I did not learn about my odometers and shit in weatherman school, unfortunately. But I like their shit. They got a good shit over there. Next game is a bum fight that I think that we, maybe you spend Mondays or Mike Minor days like Peter Loshak. Peter Loshak spends them religiously betting against Mike Minor. I want nothing to do with this bum fight. Reds, Pirates here. I love the Pirates. Everyone knows that. But against lefties, they're always kind of questionable. Shout out to my guy O'Neal Cruz, who I think is going to be a beast. Jaylen Brown playing shortstop. Bryce Wilson, also a guy I like as well. Truthfully, I lean Pirates, but I don't want my money on this bum fight. I said this pretty frequently now that football has started. There are so many sports you can bet on now that football has started that these shitty baseball games are much easier to pass.
I would agree with you, and I'm ultimately going to pass, but I would agree with Mr. Loshak. In general, whenever I see Mike Minor, I want to fade him, but it's been spots this year where he's been a little bit better, and I think right now he's been pitching a little bit better.
Yep.
His last, I think, 16 and a third, he's only given up 5 runs, so it's tough. I guess if you get gun to my head on this one, I still think he's not a good pitcher, and when Bryce Wilson's out there, the over is 11-4 and 1, so I'll be playing that. You also got a little bit of a wind above 10 miles per hour blowing out to left field. So I'm not going to be on it. It's not in my pocket. But if I had to play, I would be on the over for this game.
Yeah, right. It's always concerning or just worrisome when you start betting overs with the Cincinnati Reds and Pirates games. But these shitty pitchers, man, are good enough that you can get there. And again, shout out to Swish Analytics because they have good weather forecasting stuff as well. Or the weather report stuff. So shout out to them. Let's move on. Next game and an extremely, extremely, extremely important series for these two teams. The Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays here. And I was honestly really disappointed in the Tampa Bay Rays this weekend. I was hoping they would smack the Yankees around a little bit and hopefully give us a scenario we could shit on the Yankees and put them in almost like a game and a half up after this week. But no, the Yankees come back. Their offense comes to life with some crappy Rays pitching. And they seem like they're doing it again here. Cooper Criswell making his debut. He was on waivers from the Angels. If the Angels put you on waivers and you're a pitcher, I'd be a little concerned. Obviously, the Rays give you that endorsement of picking you up. Maybe you see something in him. 4 innings last time out, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, 1 walk. And then 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk before that. I mean, I don't trust him at all. And the Blue Jays right now hitting second, 141 weighted runs created plus against righties in the start of September. So I want the Blue Jays here in a form and a fashion. The real question is, do I bet on Jose Barrios? Do I trust him enough for a first 5 spot? I don't think so. So my other look was Toronto team total over 4.5, or maybe perhaps even an over in this game as well. But I have not moved on this game yet. Those are my 2 leans as of now. Ski, what do you think about this game?
We're kind of in the same boat. Sorry, my bad. We're kind of in the same boat here. First-time starter for Criswell. I mean, whenever I see a first-time starter, I want to find some kind of way to fade him for the most part. And like you said, Toronto bats, I have him listed 5th weighted runs created plus last 2 weeks, first righty. So I want to bet on that. If you look at, I mean, I heard your team total. I would agree with that, but I'd probably prefer if you have first 5 team total available at 2.5. I know they've hit that 7 of their last 8 games. So I'm thinking, if Toronto can get 3 early, which they've been doing pretty consistently, and then Barrios, like you said, if I can trust him for a first 5, he's just generally not a guy I trust. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. So the way I thought about it is, I think Toronto gets 3, right? They could easily hit their first 5 team total, but Barrios has given up 2+ 12 of his last 15 games. So if Tampa Bay can get 2, which I think they can, that gets the first 5 over 4.5. The first 5 over is 61, 45, and 2 for Toronto versus right-handed pitching. That's 57.5%. And then Barrios, the first 5 over is 17, 9, and 1 in his starts. So all of that is kind of lining up for me for first 5 over 4.5.
Yeah, I'll ride with you there, actually, too, Ski, because it makes a whole lot of sense. Because truthfully, I could see Toronto scoring 4 by themselves here pretty easily, and then anything you get from Barrios, and I do think Barrios is going to get you some sort of runs here from the Rays. I'm always scared of Barrios. It's just a constant concern, and I want to pull up his home road splits real quick.
He's worse on the road, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, he's got a 4.28 at home and a 6.19 at home, so it's still not. He's not fucking Cy Young at home, but I was I'm always concerned with Barrios. So if I had to pick a side here, first five, it's definitely Barrios, but I like that first five over look you're looking at here. Cooper Criswell, I mean, who's going to trust that guy? Who's going to trust that guy? I'll be honest, and I've heard Jimmy say that he thinks that the Blue Jays are going to get outclassed this series. Ronnie Ambergia also thinks Tampa's going to dominate this series. I really think the Blue Jays give them the work here. I think if they're going to throw out these shitty pitchers, I think the Blue Jays rock and roll them here. And I think it'll be very interesting to see if, like, for example, I don't know the pitching matchups for tomorrow, but like if Drew Rasmussen goes against the Blue Jays on the road, I'm giving the edge to the Blue Jays. So
Springs and Manoah.
Yeah, give me the Blue Jays again. Like I really think that the Blue Jays might end up, making this run right here. They always shit the bud somehow. The people have been watching this team very closely. Shout out to Jimmy, like he says, but I trust the Blue Jays a little more, and I'm on the front of their bandwagon, and I've been this whole year. So let's have this Blue Jays team go out well here and hit well. First five over for both of us there. Ski, by the way, are you joining me on that bandwagon? Are you a Blue Jays backer? Because I think the Blue Jays are going to make the ALCS, and then I would rather bet on them than the Astros to win the AL. But
I'm not the kind of guy who can like give you any kind of information that you would want or need for any future bets in MLB. I can cap MLB day to day, but as far as like future stuff,
gotcha.
I'm not the guy to talk to.
Fair enough. Well, you know what? I was thinking of futures in my head, and I started thinking about the NBA, but we won't.
Oh, I've been getting there. I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you about your team because I am going to Boston tomorrow, so I might end up by the Garden. Who knows? Might end up taking a tour there and seeing some banners. That'd be nice. The fifth game on our slate, Cubs Mets, a -300. You guys know me. I've been fading the -300s, or I was fading the -300 for a lot of the year. I haven't done it recently. I use my show as a great gambling experiment show. I just try things out for a certain portion of time, track it, see how it goes. Shout out to the -300 fades. Very successful. Parlays, not as successful. Who would have thought? Not me. But I couldn't get there with this one. I kind of like it. I was a little surprised to see the Mets at a -300, but they need all of these games like they need to breathe. So I've been seeing a lot of people doing like a Mets Braves parlay. Just keep having them win, and see how that goes. But I passed on this game. Ultimately, Chris Bassett is good enough for me to have some respect and not fade him here. Javier Assad, not as much. So I passed.
First thing that popped in my mind, I missed the last sentence because I was thinking about it. I was like, didn't the Braves just lose a couple games? Because I'm pretty sure I bet against them on
no, Saturday. I mean, yeah, let me tell you, they lost the game I bet on them whenever there was against the Mariners. But I think, and the walk-off game, the fucking crazy-ass game. But yeah, no, it's funny. I love the thing that Mets fans have been saying to Braves fans like this whole year is like, all you guys are beating the shitty teams. When you guys play good teams, you guys get rocked. And it's like, damn, they just lost 2 of 3 against the Seattle Mariners. So it's tough.
We shall see. This one though, I hear you on that -300 fade. I'm all for that because I've seen that over the past few years. I think -200s have been okay, but once you start getting that $3 range, no team should really be favored by $3 in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So, but with that said, you just talked about how much the Mets need this game. They've won Bassett's last 8 starts. They've covered the run line in 7 of them. So how can I go against that? The bats have been better than Chicago. The bullpen has been better, and it's kind of just 1 + 1 = 2 for me here. So, yep. Outside of the 300 fade, it's got to be Mets run line.
Yeah, and I'll say this. We'll get to the Dodgers here in a second. They've been a team. I've talked about my gambling experiments and such of what I do. I'm on my Dodgers betting. I'm betting the Dodgers run line every day until the end of the season and just seeing how it goes. And obviously, it's won more than it's lost. I haven't tabulated and see how it does profit-wise, but it's fun to bet. It's nice betting on the best teams in baseball. Who would have thought?
Absolutely. And it's not like, most of their games they win are by 2+ runs anyway. So
exactly. I have not had one yet where it's been like a Dodgers 1-run lead. If there has been one, I just have not thought of it off the top of my head. But it's either they lose or they win the game by multiple runs. And and that's chilling with me. If they're losing the game, I'm like, all right, whatever. Bet's done. Right. If we're up, we're winning and we're good. And shout out to Max Muncy too. Fucking in the 8th inning or whatever against the Giants, it's a grand slam. Cashes our bet the other day. It's just
I think we had some same bets that day. We didn't even talk. That's the same day the Mariners beat the Braves.
Yeah, I think so.
I had the Mariners money line. I had the Dodgers run line.
Dodgers run line every day. It's a fun time. So again, who would have thought that it's fun to bet on the best teams in baseball? Not me. I bet on the Pirates for half the year, had a grand old time. Now I'm doing the opposite. I'm like, oh, this is awkwardly just as fun. So it is. Shout out to this next matchup, doubleheader spot. The second half of it, we've got Braxton Garrett versus John Gray. I don't typically fuck with doubleheaders very often. Both these pitchers are coming off of oblique injuries, both of them actually, nonetheless, which is kind of funny. So both of their first starts off the IL. John Gray, and I've said this a couple times, and I have not tracked how these guys have done, but a couple of these pitchers are just kind of saying fuck it and not taking any rehab starts and just getting right into it, which I respect. I mean, whatever. I have faded some of these guys. I don't think it's been very successful. Shout out to Zach Greinke is the most notable one that I've thought of. He went like 8 innings or whatever he did right after his, but I'm not playing this game. I'll be interested to see. Braxton Garrett did take a rehab, 3 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, no walks. So I'll ultimately pass here. But I'll be absolutely watching John Gray and see how he does after this no rehab shit he's going on.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna waste anybody's time. I'm with you. I don't bet. I don't cap doubleheaders. I barely even looked at this game. So
beautiful.
If you have a play, I'll just rock with you. I'm out of it.
All right. Well, let's see. That makes these things easier. It makes the shows quicker too, because at least we're being honest. We have nothing on this game. Fuck double headers. I kind of missed the 7-inning double headers. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of miss them. Dodgers versus Diamondbacks. We mentioned this game earlier. With this Dodgers run line bet, we have been kind of ignoring the juice. And so I'm taking Dodgers minus 135 here. I've kind of set my cap as like minus 125. It's basically the highest thing I'll bet, So I don't go over minus 130 often. I've had it, frequently now. The last like couple times I bet the Dodgers run line, it's been like minus 145 was the highest one, I think. And that cashed, obviously. So I'm riding with it. I can still trust my Diamondbacks another day because I have been betting on them as well. They have been hot recently. And I bet on my man Ryan Nelson. I keep calling him Reese Nelson in my head. I don't know why. That Y in the middle of his name just kind of throws me off. I bet on him his last start against the Padres. He dominated. It was awesome. But I will indeed fade you here when you face what I think is one of the better teams in baseball. I don't think they're going to win the World Series. I don't think they're going to win the NL, actually. But it's going to be a great lineup. And Tyler Anderson, good enough on that end. 26 against lefties are the Arizona Diamondbacks. So run line here for me again.
Yeah, and I mean, one-way ticket for me, even if they don't get to Nelson, which I do think they will, the bullpen for Arizona has been pretty bad. Last 2 weeks, 5.54 ERA. So even if it doesn't come early, I'm confident that it'll come late. You get the full 9 innings with the Dodgers on the road. So Dodgers run line, don't even think about it. Just put it in.
Yep. It's one of those things. It's just like, all right, well, if it loses, it loses. But we're going to keep on betting this until it folds. So it's a beauty that these Dodgers make these games so easy to cap. It is going to be very funny when I bet the Dodgers run line every day. And then when playoff time comes, I'm like, all right, Operation Fade the Dodgers. Fade them all. But hopefully the Braves and Mets don't play each other and they play one of these two teams, and it'll be a lot of fun because those are my 2 NL teams. Ski for your information.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
The pitchers, is it Scherzer or one of the other pitchers for the Mets is injured right now, right?
Yeah, Max is. Scherzer is. And
then for the Dodgers, a couple of their good pitchers is injured too, right?
Yeah, Walker Buehler done for the year. Yep. And then Tony Gonsolin hurt right now. So, I don't know if he's coming back. I haven't heard anything yet.
So who's your choice if you have to pick who's coming, in the playoffs? Who's going to
I've said the whole year I think it's Braves Mets for the National League.
Okay.
Braves or Mets, one of the two. I fucking seeing Michael Harris do what he did yesterday or whatever it was, the day before yesterday, makes me really want to take the Braves because they're just a star factory. But I keep saying if Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom are healthy, I'm going to take the Mets against anyone every single time because it does not matter.
Yeah.
If you win those 2 games, you're good. It's a lot of fucking pressure on those guys, but you win those games, you're good. And then on the American League, it's obviously the Astros. And then my my zany pick, whatever, is the Blue Jays. Obviously, I think the Yankees are frauds. I mean, that's
I would agree.
You'll be shocked to hear a Red Sox fan say that. And like I said, I'm going to Yankees Red Sox tomorrow, actually, and then the next day after that. So, and I'm going to see my close personal friend Garrett Cole, who I love fading Garrett Cole. I love it. I love it. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I get to chirp him in person. So yeah, those are my four. I've stuck with that for a long time now, and I fucking hope so, because I've also been on a kick of kind of been betting the Braves here. As we get into Braves Giants, Spencer Strider is a dog. I love him. I might just try to style my facial hair into his. Come into October, I might. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I think I might do that, because he's a machine. I love watching him pitch. The real question is do we trust Alex Cobb to hold it together? A low ass total, a 6.5 here. Automatically, I thought, well, these Braves bats are good enough that I can still trust them, no matter if it's in fucking Oracle Park here, or if we're in Coors, or wherever we're at. I still want to bet the Braves bats here, because quite frankly, and close your ears, children, this Braves lineup fucks, as they say on Twitter. So I'm gonna take the Braves team total here. I'm gonna double check and look at it, because I saw it a 7 earlier. The full game total. I want to see if potentially our team totals have gotten a little better. While I do that, Ski, what do you think about this game?
Well, when I first saw this game, Giants games, I'm always thinking about trying to go bet an under right now. Bullpen has been good. Cobb has been good. And I trust Strider too. But I don't know. I'm just looking at the numbers last 2 weeks. Giants are 10th. Atlanta is 16th weighted runs created plus versus righties. And the thing for me is, it opened at 7.5. It's all the way down to 6.5. And you have a 6.5 with winds blowing out like 14 miles per hour. I can't. If I take an under and I lose, I'll feel like an idiot, honestly. So it took me away from thinking under, and the only way I can bet it with those scenarios is over 6.5.
Yeah, right. And shout out to Nutflush Allen. He says that the wind swirls and shit in Oracle Park, and he's throwing the grass up there. He knows. He's been there. He's seen it with his own eyes. So I don't know what to do with it. And what's fucked is well, I guess not fucked. It's pretty funny. Giants team total over 2.5 is at minus 120. Minus 120. That's pretty shocking. I know Spencer Strider's really, really good, and I just gushed all over him. He just came off of a 6-inning, 2-hit start, 2 earned runs there, 9 Ks, 3 walks at Oakland. And then that was coming off of a casual 16K performance versus the Colorado Rockies. The Giants are 10th against righties right now, 120 weighted runs created plus this month. I wouldn't necessarily hate that bet. I really wouldn't. I'm going to make official Braves team total over 4. It's at plus 115. This is one of those things that I'm just kind of betting the Braves in some form or fashion until, whatever. I did not bet them on Sunday, but I went 1-1 on bets on them in the Seattle series. So whatever, but I just think the Braves are that good. If you had to put gun to head right now, I think the Braves are going to repeat as World Series champions. And we have not seen that since I was in fucking diapers. So it'll be interesting, to say the least.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Ski, thank you, first of all, for joining me on Say Hey Plays 151. It's a great time. I always associate you with 151 now. My first question before we go is, you've been obviously diving into the NBA futures.
Yep.
How much are we betting on the Lakers to not make the playoffs?
Well, I wouldn't make that bet this year. And the reason I wouldn't make it is just because the simple fact that they got embarrassed last year. And
yes,
it's just a pride factor. And with Patrick Beverly coming over there, whether you love him or hate him, I feel like he's going to hold everybody accountable. So if you can at least tell me they're going to give effort, I say LeBron has to make the playoffs. You can't go 2 years not making the playoffs, LeBron. So I would say they make it.
Oof, that'd be funny. That'd be real funny. Well, it's all right. I hope Wardell rops through again and just solidifies him as confirmed better than Kobe. That'd be a fun time. By the way, I do say Curry is over Kobe now. Curry is the 10th best player all time, but we don't have to argue about that right now.
I'll share my favorite one with you. I'm sure you'll love it.
Oh boy, please do.
My favorite or my best is Celtics under 56.5 wins. I just think it's too much.
Okay, sure. I mean, Danilo ripping his knee in Eurobasket was not ideal. I'll gladly admit that. And another concerning thing is the amount of time that Jaylen Brown hangs out with Kanye West is concerning to me. That is concerning to me. If you follow him on Instagram, I see a lot of Kanye West on there. I'm like, all right, Jaylen, all right, we get it.
It may not be good. Yeah, you're right. But last year, Celtics over was my best bet. Celtics to win the division was my best bet. But it was a lot of drama going on within the division with the Sixers, with the Nets. No drama this year. Everybody's hungry. So
Sixers are going to be good this year. If James Harden decides he wants to play basketball this year, Sixers are going to be good this year. So It's going to be interesting. I fucking can't stand the 76ers too, though. So I'm glad we're talking about all my least favorite NBA teams. Well, let's recap our plays here real quick before we get out of here. And by the way, pull that. There's no Kobe hate. He's just the 11th best player of all time.
Oh, 11. Man. You're going to have me on this show in another 20 minutes, Jose.
Come on. I mean, what do you want me to say? He's 11th. He's 11th. That's great. 11th best all time is fantastic. Just behind Stephen Curry. Whatever. I'm officially going to move on. I'm going to move on to full game under 7.5 in LA Angels Cleveland, which is starting here soon. Passing on that Detroit-Houston game. I'm going to move on the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm going to move on team total, I believe, is what I decided. Actually, no, I'm the over. I'm going to move on the first 5 over. I forgot about that. I did not write it down. So there we go. As we're getting a little disjointed here, maybe talking about basketball and the Celtics got me a little rattled because I'm still a little wounded about the finals. I'm still a little hurt and still a little bit in shock that they did not win that title. So first 5 over 4.5 in Tampa Bay, Toronto there. Atlanta team total over 4 at even money, and the Dodgers minus 135 run line there. So those 4 plays official for me. Ski, what about you? What are you making official today?
My official bets: Houston and Detroit under 7.5, and Tampa Bay, Toronto first 5 over 4.5. And how about a stake, Jose? Who wins the championship first? The next championship first. Who wins number 18, Lakers or Celtics? You know who I have.
Ski, sure, of course. You know it doesn't take much to get me into a stake bet, Ski. You know, and it seems like one of the Celtics are a very, very easy spot for me to lose stakes. So I hope Daryl, wherever he is still laughing up about the fucking Wardell. By the way, someone asked me top 10 players in the NBA. By the way, it's Jordan. Well, it should be Kareem Jordan, but it's Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Wilt, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Wardell, Stephen Curry, and then Kobe Bryant. So there you go. There's that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Those are just my opinions. Ski, before we get out of here, plug your shit, please. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Ski Profit. I put all of my work there. I do a Twitter Spaces every day. I have a YouTube channel too. You can I'm pretty sure it's at Ski Profit, or it's linked to my Twitter. So I'll pop on there, especially more throughout the basketball season. And yeah, catch all my work on Twitter or YouTube.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, I cannot wait. This is going to be great. Ski, I love this just can of worms that I've opened. JPZ, I'll gladly put Dr. J in front of Kobe Bryant. You tell me Dr. J should be in front of Kobe, and I say yes, JPZ.
We're gonna have to get you on Spaces, Jose, to talk about this basketball list.
Sure. I have it on my phone. I have it a note on my phone listed as players better than Kobe Bryant. I have it on my phone for these occasions. I'm telling you, I get into this argument all the time. I say, yeah, Kobe's like the 11th best player of all time. And everyone loses their minds. Like, what? I was like, yeah, he's 11. That's really good. It's It's really good. Sorry.
We'll get everybody in Twitter Spaces to gang up on you. We'll be all right.
Yeah, that's fine. I love being the villain. I love being the villain, which is why this next week is going to be weird for me. I'm going to Boston, as many people know in the chat right now. Going to Boston, a nice little red eye at 5 a.m. Going to be at all the Red Sox games until Friday, I believe. So I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there the next day, and I'll be there Friday. And Friday we're doing a little meetup. Nasty Nate, who's in there, and Hakeem Olajuwon is top 10, Mr. MDR. You're right. He is top 10. And Shaq is too. You're right about that too.
Yeah, if you said Dr. J, you might have been tripping there, bro.
So say sorry. Hey, JPC said it. I'm just the messenger here, Ski. And these are all players that are better than Kobe Bryant. That is just, these are all these things that are just being listed right now. And poll this, poll that. I will gladly put Hakeem in there. I gladly will put him in there. But those are just 10 random players, whatever. But I will gladly join the Twitter Spaces. So no Say Hey plays from today until Monday. So this is just a 1 day a week show or something like that now. But it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll be there Friday for the Royals Red Sox game, standing room section in the Green Monster and the Sam Adams deck. So come by, all the Massachusetts area cappers. Ski, if you want to catch a plane, come watch some Red Sox baseball. You're more than welcome to come too, Ski. I'll guarantee you this. You come, I'll buy your ticket.
Hey, I appreciate the invite, and I also appreciate you inviting me on the show. It's been fun, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Beautiful. We will soon. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Say hey to us on social media. Until then, we'll see you guys.